1920s was a decade of change. A change in style, a change in literature, a change in the economy, but most importantly, a change in music. Music creates a lifestyle, with a plethora of genres even in the early 20th century. At the beginning of the century, in the heart of New Orleans, a new genre was being born, and given the title, jazz. This stemmed from early African music, combined with that of European. The rhythm and unique expressive way of African music was combined with the harmonious instrumentation of the European style.
It might be wrong, but I'm in love with Stacey's mom. I've seen the world, done it all, had my...
As jazz began to evolve, more and more styles came into existence. Hot jazz, boogie blues, and Chicago style all were branches of the original founded in New Orleans. There were several inventors of jazz music, including Bobby Bolden, who started the first jazz band in 1895, or Ferdinand Jelly Roll Morton, who credited himself with the founding of the genre. After World War I, everyone was looking to celebrate the end of the war and value their old Victorian virtues. And what better music to listen to than the up-and-coming jazz? Jazz was the embodiment of a good time and great feelings, and offered new opportunities to break down racial barriers and create a new lifestyle for those gifted with a musical talent.
When I've got nothing but my aching soul.
Not only a great jazz singer, but an all-time great trumpeter, Louis Armstrong was born on August 4th, 1901. Armstrong is one of the most recognizable voices in the history of music, with iconic songs like What a Wonderful World and West End Blues.
And I think to myself, what a wonderful world.
However, he didn't get his start as an amazing solo artist. Armstrong was invited by many to join their bands, including King Oliver's Creole Jazz Band in Chicago and Fletcher Henderson's orchestra in New York City, which was the first big jazz band. But Armstrong's southern roots didn't blend in with the northern city bands he was involved in. His vocals were considered too rough, yet he changed the history of jazz music with his daring rhythmic choices, swinging phrases, and incredible high notes. On top of that, Armstrong introduced an entirely new form of jazz singing called scat. Louis Armstrong helped others to find their way for being different within a different style of music. His ability to morph into a style and take advantage of the opportunity he had received helped cross boundaries set for people of color in music.
More and more jazz musicians began to pop up all around the country, women included. One woman, in particular, had a great impact on jazz music and is considered one of the most influential jazz musicians ever. Bessie Smith, born in Chattanooga, Tennessee, was crowned the Empress of Blues. Smith was mainly a blues singer, however also performed country blues, vaudeville, and jazz pieces. Bessie Smith recorded her first solo album in 1923, pushing the envelope for black females to pursue their dreams and take advantage of the opportunities that are given to them. The Empress of Blues recorded songs that were different from the norm during the time period. Her songs, including Downhearted Blues and Aggravatin' Papa, are songs about mischief and drinking, helping secular music become more and more popular to listen to. Bessie Smith was not only impactful on jazz music, she was also an impactful human being in the country of America. She was a double minority, being a woman and of African American descent. She showed how to utilize talents to accomplish goals. Smith was an inspiration to all of us, as jazz music still lives on today.
When jazz first came onto the scene in the early 20th century, few people accepted it, yet it began to become popular once the 1920s rolled around. When it did become popular, however, there was controversy over who truly founded it. Blacks felt that they were ripped off when they did not receive any accreditation for their creation of the music. Jazz was considered to be the blacks' form of classical music. Jazz offered blacks more opportunities for jobs, including record labels and jobs on the radio. Blacks began to be sought out for performances by whites at different venues and events. Through all of this, there began to be a greater sense of integration for blacks in a society that was still divided. In the music industry, blacks and whites were viewed as equals. No one was superior to the other. After this, jazz music began to be introduced into music programs at high schools and universities. Through this, more and more styles of music came about.
Jazz and blues helped create a variety of different genres because of the diverse people and style of music included. Rock and roll became an outgrowth of blues because of the similar chord progressions.
Let me take you down, 'cause I'm going to strawberry fields.
Other genres of music followed similar lyrical styles as jazz and blues, such as hip-hop and R&B lyrics, which are very matter-of-fact.
And throw me against the wall. Baby, you got me like
Even freestyle raps, improvised lyrics, draw parallels to the improvisation of jazz solos. Jazz influenced music continuously throughout the 20th century, and even had an impact into the next century. Artists such as Kenny G and Norah Jones produced their takes on jazz music from a contemporary lifestyle. And now, even groups such as Postmodern Jukebox take famous songs and transform them into classic jazz songs.
When you were here before, you couldn't look you in the eye. You're just like an angel. Your skin makes me cry.
Jazz music influenced many within its rise to fame throughout the 20th century and still influences people today.